What's going on, everybody? Brandon Charleston here with another quick video for you on all things AI and automation. So you may or may not have heard, but OpenAI just dropped GPT Tasks. It's rolling out on GPT Plus, Pro, and all that subscribers. I just got it. And basically what it does is allows you to create multiple agents very easily in one prompt to remind you to do specific tasks, or it will actually execute on a task. So today I'm going to show you a little bit of what I would do in very everyday practical scenarios, so you can just jump right in and make it a good benefit to your life too. So let's go ahead and dive in. So I have ChatGPT Pro. If you don't have Plus or Pro, you may get this feature here soon. But in my opinion, 2025 is most definitely the year of the agents, AI agents. And so when we talk about agents, there is the initial parts of AI is really just exchanging information. I talk about this in other videos as well. It's really just kind of like calling up a phone and you're talking to an expert of somebody, like say a mechanic about your car. If your car is broken or has a check engine light, all you're doing is exchanging information, right? An AI agent is actually doing some sort of work. It's allowing the agent to have a manual. It's having like tools and things like that to actually do the task. So what does that mean when it comes to AI agents with computers, right? Well, this is exactly it. If I were to go, GPT 4.0 or any of the O1s, but GPT 4.0 with tasks, this actually allows you to do scheduled jobs or a particular task and remind you about something and be able to just use natural language versus using something like, Siri, I don't want it to get called or whatever, or set an alarm or anything like that. Those are the early days of like your Alexas and stuff like that. We have several Alexas in my house, so I don't want to trigger them. But if you were to say, wake me up at 4 a.m. or do this task or 20 minutes, for the oven for your cake to be baked or whatever. Those are very, very simple things. Think of it like talking to your pet where you say, sit, fetch, all those kinds of things. This one is now tons more thorough. You can just say a task and it's going to do it, right? So one thing that my wife and I do first thing in the morning, to stay fit, we're really big into Olympic lifting and CrossFit. The CrossFit Open is coming around the corner, so I'm trying to shed that winter coat from all the holiday eating. And what I like to do, every morning we wake up, we're like, what are we going to do, right? Generally speaking, we'll do some sort of lifting, and then we will do a CrossFit Metcon, and really just get after it. Get our day started off right, because as you know, the rest of the day, at least for us with kids and stuff like that, it just gets away from us, and we just want to make sure we get a good workout together and making sure that we're staying fit and healthy and living a good, long, prosperous life, right? So what I'm going to do, I haven't even done this yet, but I've seen tons of videos, including what OpenAI has released. I'm essentially going to give it a brief, and we'll see what it looks like, but it's essentially going to program for me. Therefore, I don't need to think twice, or I can just review of what it's doing, right? So we're going to say every morning at 5 a.m. I usually get up at 4:30, and so 5 a.m. should be sufficient. I want you to send me a CrossFit workout that is good enough for 1 hour of effective training. One thing I want you to also include is some form of strength training that is push, pull, squat, ollie. When I say push, I mean push press, bench press, anything that involves some sort of press. When I say pull, I am referring to deadlift, not deadlift, deadlift, pull up, weighted pull up, anything that involves pulling. When I say squat, I am talking about front squat, back squat, overhead squat, those suck, and anything that involves squatting. When I say Olympic lifting, I am referring to variations of the snatch and the clean and jerk, and complex types of movements that wrap around snatching. As for the CrossFit metabolic conditioning, also known as Metcon, not Retcon, Metcon. We typically do various time domains that revolve around some sort of timed activity, such as an AMRAP, rounds for time, intervals, and a number of other things. Output every morning at 5 a.m. for us to review and make us to review. I am also military, therefore I like a good hero workout. All right, we'll see what that looks like. And it's creating the task. And there it is. Sweet. All right. So there's our first task. And clearly this is an agent type of workout, agent type of workflow. I got workout on the brain now. But basically every morning at 5 a.m., it's going to do a task. Now, obviously, there's a ton of use cases, and I don't want to bore you with my daily lives and stuff like that. But, in everyday, even personal situations, you could very easily put into this, remind me on, your day that it's your anniversary. Or you could do, remind me to pick up the kids at 3 p.m. Or you could do, remind me every Sunday when you do grocery shopping, or remind me every Sunday night to put up the trash, you don't want to be over reliant on AI, because I think it's pretty good to have exercise good memory, obviously, because there comes a point where you almost are too reliant on AI. So I would say practical knowledge, or a lot of times for me, if you really want to be high performing, the lower brain cycle, lower kind of tasks that you need to think through and have focus, is in order to be highly effective with your day, and do revenue producing actions, things like that, just jot it down. Either just get it done, jot it down for later by some sort of power list or Notion doc or something like that, or ClickUp. But honestly, I could just say, hey, remind me tomorrow at 3 p.m. to do this. And, Siri or Apple Intelligence can also do this too, because they could throw it as a task or a calendar or something like that. Obviously, it's going to evolve too, but this, you can get pretty complex here. Now, I do also work in definitely a lot more complex agents than this, where you can assign, like web scraping, CRM enrichment, a lot of business use cases where the agents have a number of different function calls. This is nothing more than doing a particular task with it's a scheduled task, right? You're giving it some sort of trigger. And everything we talked about with workflows, if you think about it, everything in this world revolves around some sort of trigger with a sequence to follow, right? So if you're hungry and you go out and get yourself a donut, the trigger here is that you're hungry, and then you're making a choice. Should I eat this donut? So therefore, that's what you call an if-then scenario, right? If I eat this donut, what is that going to do sequential to that, right? And so when it comes to ChatGPT and using something like GPT tasks, this really just puts natural language behind reminding you to be a little bit more productive. And so you can do even simple things like this, where now it's kind of lifting a little bit of the burden, where tomorrow morning I'm going to get a workout and be like, hey, it's going to give me some ideas or some inspiration. Another thing you could do is for meals, like if you're trying to get more fit, you can be like, hey, I am trying to lose weight, or I'm trying to get stronger, and you could say, this is my goal, this is my objective. I want you to send me a grocery list every Saturday or something like that of these types of foods, or send me ideas every day at 3 p.m. for dinner that include this particular topic. And so it could do that. So that way you're not, spinning your wheels and then end up resorting to going to, get some crappy pizza or something like that, right? And so keeping you on track. But I bring this up because this right here is definitely the catalyst to the masses as far as agentic workflow, for sure. Like, this is the first release that is actually doing something, which is an agent. A lot of it's just information, but now this is the first time it's actually going to do something on its own, which is a scheduled job, right? It's only going to get bigger, right? So you could, for example, I definitely am calling this out, but it's just around the corner because it's already existing with custom agents that you can build out in like Make and N8N and stuff like that. But very simply, you could use this for so many use cases, even business with sales and recruiting and all sorts of other stuff. Really, the sky's the limit. But I don't want to bore you with too much longer of a video. But I say this to say that you should definitely check it out. You should definitely get familiar with it, and I think it's worth being able to do solid prompt engineering because that's going to be a skill in order for you to actually talk to AI and know exactly what you want and be very specific on what that actually looks like, right? Clearly, it's turning sunset for me. So, but nonetheless, I'll wrap this up. But I appreciate you watching to the end, and hopefully, this is going to be a good feature. And this year is going to be wild. It's just hang on. I would just say, be aware of the things. Please like and subscribe, and I'll definitely post everything that I know so I could share it with you guys. But cheers to celebration and AI and all that fun stuff. Healthy living, right? Have a good one.